Yes.
We can give you one.
Santana.
We can give you one Bob Marley recommendation from Ed Daffan, and that is he says that the jukebox musical in the West End is absolutely fantastic. He's been 3 times already.
And that's where? The actual...
The musical.
The Get Up, Stand Up musical.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Ed.
That is supposed to be terrific. And if anyone from that theatre is listening...
Yeah, I'll have a ticket, please. Tickets, please. We'll come and do a really nice review.
Send Dinny to blag his way in.
Yeah, we'll send foist Dinny upon you for your punishment.
As you know, about this time of the show, we link in with the KCAW weekly newsletter, which you can get yourself, and you can read along with me if you want. February is LGBT plus History Month. They
left out the Q and the I, so apologies to all of you who identify with the Q and I initials.
They still haven't given the white people, the white straight middle-aged men, a month, a History Month.
Yeah, every single day of the year is white middle-aged man month.
Pale, stale.
Pale, stale and male month, yeah. You've got enough time, Piers. You know,
oh gosh, there's a lot of love in the room. I can feel it.
No, but
I can smell it.
Gregsy, you're not in that category. I've co-opted you out. No, you're with me.
Oh, good. I'm feminine, am I? Brilliant.
He is looking a bit pale. No.
Absolutely brilliant. Absolutely brilliant.
They highlight a few things. There is a competition to design, I think, the logo for LGBT plus History Month, which if you look up art behind the lens, something to do with Schools Out UK, you can follow that up. They highlight the blue plaques to the likes of Oscar Wilde. The reason I mention Oscar Wilde specifically, he's in Tite Street, is we have Bright Side of the Road, our monthly collaboration with the Irish Cultural Centre.
Wow, new one coming up next Wednesday.
Yeah, and there will be an Oscar Wilde section in that because our James Joyce Ulysses section went so well last time.
It went gangbusters. We loved it. Absolutely loved it.
Though we did end up cutting out the original audio of James Joyce himself because it was just a little bit too scratchy.
It was just a bit too scratchy.
It wasn't too Irish then.
He didn't have an Irish accent. He may have been a West Brit. Anyway, let's not go there because we'll get in trouble with our colleagues.
Not only that, we couldn't tell by the quality of that recording exactly what it was, to tell us truth, which is why it didn't end up going into the final cut. But it was a brilliant show, and we're looking forward to another spectacular session.
So tune in at 7 p.m. next Wednesday. You won't get much more art than that.
Absolutely.
We're actually featuring International Women's Day in that show.
Wonderful.
Oh, International Women's Month, Piers.
Oh,
okay, don't take
there's a month now.
It's a month, hello. Because you remember, pale, male, stale, white guys get a year, so we women get a month.
I'm not even going to entertain this conversation at all.
Just sit on the fence, sit on the fence. You might get pushed off otherwise.
Squarely in the middle.
On Monday, there is an online talk from Brompton Cemetery called Queerly Departed.
Oh, lovely.
That is LGBTQ+.
Beautiful.
And Brompton Cemetery is rich in stories, shall we say. And one of my favourite places in the world, and you might.
I was going to say it's an amazing space. You know, put aside the talk and the walk and the dead people.
Earl's Court
it's an amazing space.
Used to be a really gay place.
It was.
Really, I used to go. My friend, when we were teenagers, and he was a young gay man, we used to go down to Earl's Court to the gay bars all the time.
The Boltons was the big one down there, and even the Troubadour had its period of being very gay.
There were so many though. Yeah. I mean, literally, you came out of the station, there was a choice, and now there's like,
nothing. Sad.
Brompton's is now. Brompton's, which was it was quite an intense gay disco. That is now a Tesco's.
Another Tesco's disco. Tesco's disco.
And the Coleherne, which is not only has...
the Coleherne, man.
Not only has great... am I allowed to say queer? I was going to bring this up.
That's a really interesting one, because I've been told that if you're not queer, you shouldn't say queer.
I was going to say that.
Because I thought you should say queer, but then... It's a
difficult one, that one. I wouldn't go there myself.
Yeah, I'm not saying it. If a person who's not heterosexual tells me that I shouldn't be saying this as a heterosexual, I'm not saying it.
No.
Keep it simple.
It's more confusing, though, than, say, the Y word or the N word or any of those other words, which are just completely verboten. No one uses them at all. really.
Except
in
the
rap
N-word,
videos.
they use it all the time.
Yeah, that would have been my parallel, my analogy, or my metaphor.
Exactly. We can use it, but you can't use it.
With the Q word.
Yeah, basically.
Am I allowed to read out the words queerly departed?
Yes, of course you can.
Yeah.
Because that's a title.
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
Moving swiftly.
There you go. So we've got through the red tape of the
language,
the correctness,
appropriate language.
Yeah, absolutely.
And there's also throughout this month there is something called a dash of lavender at the Chelsea Physic Garden.
Oh, beautiful!
Because they have teamed up with Queer Botany to look at plants in the garden.
Queer botany. I love it.
Now, Gregsy.
Might have to edit that bit out.
Yeah, maybe. Sounds like Portobello Radio is getting really controversial during February.
Wow, isn't it? We're trying to make a name for ourselves, God's sake. Love it. Brilliant. No, but I love Chelsea Physic Garden, one of my most favourite places in all of London town.
Indeed.
It is blinding down there, so I should imagine that the queer botany thing that's going on down there is going to be brilliant. Lavender, an amazing plant too. So.
Oh, I love lavender. I remember driving through France with my daughters when they were young and stopping by the lavender fields. And
in Provence, beautiful.
And you stick it in the car, so then, when you blow that, it just smells of lavender.
Gorgeously.
Yeah, absolutely gorgeous.
Amazing.
I love lavender. We have lots on our allotment.
Good.
Anyway, anyone who's been either offended by this conversation or who knows the answer to the questions that we've raised, come on the show next week.
Yes,
particularly
indeed,
if you are from the LGBTQI plus community, we would love to hear your opinions.
Yeah, man, not half.
On all and sundry.
Indeed.
Definitely.
So can I play one more track before you
Go
pull
on
the
now.
plug on me?
Pull the plug. Not yet. One more, just one more. It's what you say to my kids.
So many harsh words have been spoken. But if we look just a little bit closer, we'll see we're all just a little bit broken. The world is full of black people and white people in the middle trying to make it right, people. Everybody just getting by. Broken wings trying to learn to fly. Straight people and gay people in the middle trying to find a way, people. Everybody just getting by. And we're all just a little bit broken. We hurt. Broken people hurt. We feel. Broken people feel. We bleed. But we heal. And we fight, but tonight we're gonna be alright. We hurt. Broken people hurt. We feel. Broken people feel. And we bleed, oh yes we bleed. But we heal. And the world is full of hooks people and clean people saying love don't know what it means, people. Everybody just getting by. Broken wings trying to learn to fly. Short people and tall people in the middle happy with it all, people. Everybody just getting by. And we're all just a little bit broken. We hurt. Broken people hurt. We feel. Broken people feel. We bleed. But we heal. We fight, but tonight we're gonna be alright. We hurt. Broken people hurt. We feel. Broken people feel. And we bleed, oh yes we bleed. But we heal. The world is full of slim people and fat people in the middle, way above that, people. Everybody just getting by. Broken wings trying to learn to fly. Rich people and poor people never satisfied, keep wanting more, people. Everybody just getting by. And we're all just a little bit broken. We hurt. Broken people hurt. We feel. Broken people feel. And we bleed, oh yes we bleed. But we heal. And we fight, but tonight we're gonna be alright. We hurt. Broken people hurt. We feel. Broken people feel. And we bleed. is we're all people, all just a little bit broken. Trying to find a way down. We hurt, we feel, we bleed, but we heal. We fight, but tonight we're gonna be alright. We hurt, we feel, and we bleed, oh yes we bleed, but we heal. Oh, just a little bit broken. Oh, we bleed.
Yeah,
of course. Tanya Stevens.
Always for you, Piers. You know, I
Thank
know how
you.
you love the Tanyas, so.
Yeah. Going out to all the Tanyas there, including my lovely wife Tanya and my colleague Tanya Moore up there at YAA. Now, talking about the Gold Ball Ward, we are delighted to welcome our first guest, Craig Hannon Smith. Hi.
Hello, thank you for having me again.
And I've got your title right this time. You are the Centre Principal
I
at
am.
the North Kensington branch
That's right.
of Morley College.
The best branch of Morley
Of
College,
course.
I might
Oh, the
add.
best. I
What
like that.
many of you out there may know as the Wernington Road place. And many of you actually have probably got a qualification from there at some point over
I-
the
I
last
have-
20, 30, there you go.
I did my first counselling thing there, and then I did the second one at the Hortensia. So,
So,
there you go.
it
I'm
works.
I'm an
Counselling
alumni.
courses are very popular.
I'm an alumni.
Very popular.
It works. Craig, we're always delighted to get someone down from Morley. You were here halfway through the last term, just for an open day.
That's
and
right, yeah,
by
just before December
coincidence,
1, yeah.
there's an open day coming up now.
Oh, there is. There is. By coincidence, there is. A little bit more notice for this one.
Right.
So we have another open day on Saturday, March the 5th.
Oh, great. So,
From 11 till 2. So if it's a couple of weeks away.
yeah, 2 weeks tomorrow,
Put
people.
it in your diary, 11 till 2. Come down. Some taster events happening on that day as well, so you can try out a little bit of a practical course if you want to.
Mm-hmm.
But there'll be people there from the whole offer that we have, so you can talk to me. I'll
Yep.
be there on the day. We could talk to one of our curriculum leads or teachers to see what's available for you. Whether you are 16, 17, 18 or an adult learner, we've got something for you. So come
Something
down.
for everyone.
Yes, we have.
So just, everyone knows about Morley College.
Yeah.
But what kind of courses can you do there?
So, if you want to study a qualification, if you're 16 to 18, so we have some kind of what I would call conventional education routes if you're 16 to 18, but we've got an opportunity for everybody. So if you've not achieved at school as many GCSE grades as you would like to, you can come in at a level 1 or a level 2, so there's a starting point there for you. Yeah. Or if you're returning to learn as an adult and you've been out of education for quite a while, we have a number of access courses on if you want to go to university. But similarly, we have some just for fun courses. I want
And
to
the
learn
level
something
1 and
just for
2,
fun.
2 are like GCSEs and
2 is the same as GCSE, yeah, and level 1 is
GCSE,
GCSE
and 3 is
level.
basically A level.
It's same
Kind
level
of,
as
yeah,
A level,
right,
yes,
cool.
it is, yeah.
Including BTECs and everything.
So BTECs,
HNDs.
yes, BTECs are still there, and there's a new course coming on called T levels.
Mm-hmm.
T stands for technology.
Ah.
Yep. So running alongside A levels, but they've got a more vocational edge to them. So our IT courses, our health and social care courses, we'll have a T level in health and social care. Otherwise, BTECs or NCFE, whatever that.
Or
may be.
indeed A-levels?
We don't offer A levels. No,
right.
we feel that that's not a competition we need to have. So if you want to do
So
A
you're not,
levels,
you're not duplicating,
yeah,
basically.
if you want to
is
stay at
going on.
school and do an A level, stay at school and do
And
an
you've
A
got
level.
St Charles on the other
That's
side
right,
of Ladbroke
yeah,
Grove.
yeah.
So
So if you want, and we're actually working with St Charles, so we're at an event that they're hosting because they recognise that not everybody who studies with them wants to stay on and do a level 3 with them. So we're going to give those young people the option to come to us. But also we have a lot of adult learners at North Ken, whether they are studying ESOL or ceramics just for the fun of it, not for a qualification. or
ESOL
jewellery.
being just for everyone.
It's for English speakers of other languages. Yeah.
Right,
So, there you go. So I'm learning English essentially.
great.
And we're also doing bits and pieces outside of the college building, out into the community. So some basic IT skills. We've been doing some work in some hotels in the borough with the Afghan evacuees as well. And we've run a program for young Afghan evacuees, 16 to 18, at the actual centre in Warrington Road as well.
Fantastic. So, the open day is on March the 5th.
It is.
What are the new courses you're particularly interested in?
Well, if somebody's interested in starting something sooner than March the 5th, we've got some courses starting on Monday, actually. So we've got a new access course in health, we've got a new access course in education, but we've also got a teacher training course which starts on March the 21st.
Can you tell us a bit about that one?
So the teacher training course this is intensive. It's at level 4, so it's sort of the first year of degree
Uni.
level.
Yeah.
But we're offering an opportunity for people to come and study that with us 2 to 3 days a week, but they can also do their teaching placement with us, so the whole thing is wrapped in.
So
with
will
us.
they, when they finish, will they have the QTS status?
No, they won't have a QTS, but they'll be able to teach in an adult learning environment.
Okay,
like
so it's
an
kind of like the
environment ours.
Dettles.
It
and
is like the Dettles,
okay,
yeah,
right.
and what used to be even before that.
In fact,
was the
I
City
forgot
and
I
Guilds.
did my petals actually there as well.
There you go.
Warrington,
Yeah.
I forgot about that.
So that's on March the 21st, and that's an intensive program because we do intend to run that regularly from September. We currently offer that already out of Waterloo, but we're offering it here at North Kensington
And
as well.
how do people get funding for these courses? Because that's the other thing that comes up when adults want to do courses.
Yeah, well, access courses are very interesting because you do initially have to get a learner loan, but if you then go on to university and do a degree, you get the access money back, so you get that loan written off.
That's
Right,
good.
okay, that's cool.
That's really good.
And I'm quite interested in the teacher training. Do you need to have a certain level of
Previous
previous
qualification.
qualification in order to be able to get onto the teacher?
You will have to have English and maths at GCSE to get
Oh,
onto
right.
the teacher training qualification, yes.
What if you're an old person, like an older person who's, maybe, I don't know, 50 plus or something, and you want to go back? Do you still have to do that? Or is there something you can do to show that because often older people might not have those qualifications.
Well, that's true, and I have been known to refuse to show my GCSE qualifications because I think I've got so much work experience now, you're not looking at my English certificate.
Hello.
So potentially, yes, and we do some initial assessments as well so we can see where people are with their English and maths and basic skills. And there are also some shorter upskilling courses across the whole of Morley, whether out of the Waterloo Centre, online, Chelsea, or with us at North Kensington. So there really is something for everybody.
Fantastic. Do you have an appropriate tune?
I'm going to play
Isis?
something that I heard before, but I don't know very well, but I think it's got a great name. Education by the Kaiser Chiefs.
Oh, the Kaiser Chiefs. That'll be the first time they've managed to make it onto this radio
In
station.
fact, no, you know what? I'm not going to play that one. I'm going to play something else. Actually, no, I'm not even going to... Here we go.
Come on, Isis.
All right, I'm going to play this.
Ever see a blind man cross the road, trying to make the other side? Ever see a young girl growing old, trying to make herself a bride? So what becomes of you, my love, when they have finally stripped you of the handbags and the glad rags that your poor old granddad had to sweat to buy you? Once I was a young man, and all I thought I had to do was smile. Well, you are still a young girl, and you bought everything in style. So once you think you're in your round, 'cause you don't some sixpence for your sake, and drink a bottle full of rain. 4 and 20 blackbirds in a cake, and bake them all in a pie. They told me you missed school today, so what I suggest you just throw them all away. The handbags and the glad rags that your poor old granddad had to sweat to buy. Told me you missed school today, so what I suggest you just throw them all away. The handbags and the bag rags that your poor old granddad had to sweat to buy.
Yeah, so I chose that one because it's off the Stereophonics album, Just Enough Education to Perform, and I do love that track, Handbags and Glad Rags, by Rod Stewart, but I think it's a really beautiful cover.
Was the singer, did she have a terrible bike accident? The lady who was in the Stereophonics
I don't
up in
know.
Camden? I haven't know.
I don't know about it. I just know I really love that song. And maybe there's some courses at the college that fit in with handbags and glad rags, making things.
On music, we've got some new music courses starting actually at Warrington Road Centre in beatboxing and grime.
Oh, that's that lovely...
Was that
Emmanuel
Vass,
yeah. Yes.
He's been on our
we
show.
love him.
So those courses are getting a bit of notice as well. So they all start within the next couple of weeks. So please do check them out. But no, we've got some creative courses as well. So we're quite well known for the glass and the jewellery, but they are really fantastic courses. Some of the work that's
what's
produced.
The glass? Is that glass blowing?
Blowing,
glass design.
Oh,
so
okay.
there's a lot of stained glass, but also making things out of glass, whether that be glass sculptures or indeed pieces of jewellery. But there's a successful jewellery department as well. Some really interesting courses there. So if you go onto our website, morleycollege.ac.uk, and in the search function, you can just type the word jewellery. There are loads at Waterloo, but here at North Kensington, you'll see the specific courses that are running at North Kensington. Our ceramics courses are oversubscribed all the time. There's a waiting list on those.
But that seems very popular. Ceramics.
Really popular. Well,
What kind of facilities have you guys got up there?
we've got we have a studio and a series of potter's wheels and a kiln, but they're all being renovated later in the project. So we're undergoing this big renovation at the moment. Glass and jewellery are currently in temporary studios. Although if you didn't know they were temporary studios, I think we've done a pretty good job, I think, of creating them a temporary space to work in.
Don't tell anyone. Shush.
Shush. There is no renovation.
Absolutely.
The scaffolding, it's just for show.
And you are incidentally closed, aren't you, today on account of...
We are closed today on account of the wind because it is a building site.
Eunice.
So all of the... yes, because of Eunice.
Yeah.
Eunice has closed us for a day, just for the day.
We survived Dudley, but we couldn't survive
we couldn't.
Eunice.
Eunice was just too much for all of us.
She's hardcore.
So yes, the ceramics studio will be renovated later in the year. So we won't have any ceramics in the month of June, whilst that is renovated. But for the rest of the year we will, yes.
Your glass students, we would urge them to listen to the show next Friday when we've got Christopher Day, the
No
plumber
way.
turned glass blower.
We love this
who's
guy.
got a show
Wow.
at
He's
Somerset House
amazing.
at the moment. He's from Wolverhampton. He'll be on the show.
Well,
next Friday.
I'll make sure that we will listen into that as well.
Yeah.
And maybe we should get him into the college to
Why
do a
not?
sort of demonstration.
Why
That'd be
not?
Great.
He would love
Yes.
it. Absolutely
Yeah.
love it. He's our kind of guy.
We
Yeah.
will try and make that happen.
Yeah, man.
So, Craig, thank you for coming on.
You're very welcome. Thanks for having me again.
We love the fact that Morley has reinvigorated Worthington We love your efforts to reach out into the community. Actually, Ed Defan, sorry to go on about him this week, but he's been in my house quite a lot. Ed did want us to know, you to tell us, how is your outreach going into the community?
So pretty well. We've just done this project called the Green Wall. So where the hoardings are around the building works, we engaged with the government's Kickstarter scheme, which is where young people between 18 and 24 who are on universal credit would get a job, and they'd be paid for that job. And we had one young man called Dino, who lives very locally, lives in Ladbroke Grove. He was working with our marketing communications department, and he created the whole green wall that you will see. And if you look closely at all the leaves that he's painted, they're all actually green hearts. In honour of Grenfell, and he left some spaces on the wall. So last week we had a graffiti art day where graffiti artists from the community came down and live painted onto the wall. So if you go and look at it now, what it looks like, it was created over many weeks. Some of it was, but some of it was created on the day last week. We're doing some work down in, I'm going to get the name of it wrong, with the neighbourhood team in W11 and for some ESOL courses and
the
IT
Lankwest
courses. Yes,
team.
in the Lankwest neighbourhood as well. And we've started some other Silver Surfer digital courses at the Warnington Road site. So if you are a Silver Surfer and you want to learn how to use your iPad or your computer, or you've been given a smartphone.
Silver Surfer is a polite word for old.
It is, for older.
Old people.
Older.
It sounds like you're looking for people who aren't quite yet
it is.
surfing yet.
Because I think Silver
if
Surfer...
you consider yourself a senior.
Well, no, you see, as a sci-fi
Yeah.
fan, I think of Silver Surfer, and I think of Marvel, and I think of, eating planets and all of that stuff.
Actually, if we could make the Silver Surfers wear sort of like silver boiler suits, couldn't we, and look like the Marvel.
Yeah.
There was
characters.
a guy who used to walk around the Goulburn Road in a silver kind of ABBA meets.
Those were the days.
sci-fi.
Those were the days.
Let's bring them back.
How can people get involved at Morley? They should come to the open day.
Come to the open day, Saturday, March the 5th at 11 o'clock. You can also come in at any time. If you come in any time, any day of the week, there'll be people on reception who can help you. Our entrance has moved temporarily, but if you come to the main entrance, you will see signage pointing you to go around the back, around the side even, but we still have a functioning reception, and people can help you any day of the week. If you don't want to wait till the open day or you can't make the open day, you can just turn up and ask for some advice.
Brilliant. Thank you, Craig.
Yeah.
Once we hope
Thanks
you'll
for
be
coming
back.
and we hope to see you again.
Thank you for
Hope to
having
see you at
me.
the beginning of next term as well.
Yes, let's do it.
Fantastic. That's Morley College, the North Kensington branch. And just Google them, you'll find them online, and turn up at the open day, 11 to 2 on March
You can't
the
miss
5th.
them. They're on Warnington Road. Everybody knows Warnington Road.
No. Yes, thank you so much, Craig. We are delighted to say that Charlie Phillips is in the room. Charlie.
Yes, Uncle Charlie's in the house.
He has made a heroic journey all the way from the other side of the river.
South.
From south.
He come from south.
He's, and here's his tune.
On Blueberry Hill, on Blueberry Hill, when I found you, the moon stood still. On Blueberry Hill, and lingered until my dreams came true. The wind and the willow blend, love's sweet melody. But all of the vows we met war never to be. Though we're apart, you thought of me still. For you were my thrill. On Blueberry Hill,
the wind in the willow plain, love's sweet melody. But all of the vows we met war never to be. Though we're apart, you go to me still. For you are my thrill. On Blueberry Hill.
Yes, that is Blueberry Hill by Fats Domino. And we are delighted to have with us, right here in the room, Charlie Phillips. Unfortunately, we don't have anyone on the controls.
Well, it's okay, we'll do it ourselves. We don't need Gregsy. We can do it.
We don't need Gregsy. So,
The esteemed celebrity that is Charlie Phillips.
yeah, no, don't have it.
You know, no, listen, he likes it. He's just playing. You're just playing. You know you like it.
Charlie, we'd like to. You've been on the show many times. You were famously turned up during the carnival that wasn't there and came in and gave one of the best pro-carnival rants we've ever heard in our life.
You never gave me the feedback on that one. Got to have it for my memoirs, you know.
I was rereading a piece about you in The Guardian last year, which it asked the question, how come it's taken so long for everyone to know who Charlie Phillips is? We'd like to actually run through your life story a little bit in the course of the next 45 minutes, if that's okay with you. Yeah, we'll just jump in and out.
Around for years, but what happened, got kick-started again, was an American men's magazine called Mr. Feelgood.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how they heard about me. So they had a article about me. Who the fuck is Charlie Phillips?
When was this?
This was last year.
Oh.
And then the
Well,
Guardian.
they were still asking last year, were they?
Yeah, last year. This American magazine.
Was it actually called Who the Fuck is Charlie Phillips?
Yeah, that's the website. Look at the website, Mr. Feelgood website. And if you listen to me, they're based in Los Angeles. Yeah, and what happened? There was a photographer called Missan who took the cover photographs of the Vogue magazine last year sometime. Yeah? So I said he wasn't the first. So it circulated, and this American online magazine got hold of me. It's for men only, and it's called Mr. Feelgood. It's just like yourself, you know. They ask questions, and it's who the fuck is Charlie Phillips?
I've just found it. It actually is called Who the F * is Charlie Phillips.
You found it so quick. What else?
We'll put it up on the Facebook
Charlie
group.
Smokey Phillips is an unsung hero of urban photography. That's what it starts with.
To give us our due, we have been singing the name for a while over here in Notting Hill.
Yeah.
But maybe not further and farther wide. Charlie, tell us a little bit your story, because you have the absolute classic story of arriving in London and spending your first night at 9 Blenheim Crescent.
Number 9 Blenheim
Toto
Crescent.
bags.
I had to share a bed with two strangers, you know. Him and my dad came and met me at Paddington Station that evening. And there wasn't any room for us. But the reason I'm trying to get a blue plaque on that building, because it means a lot to me. And also to a lot of
Sorry, I
people.
think you need to put some more context into that, Uncle Charlie. Mention the building and stuff like that.
We're talking about 9 Blenheim Crescent,
We're
which
talking
was
about 9
Toto
And
bags.
who's the plaque for?
Leopold Williams, which I took a bag, and Baron Baker.
All right.
It's a very historical house, and you know, if it wasn't for that house, you'd have had Rackman. You know, so Rackman came on the scene as well. You know, because at the time we couldn't find accommodation to live, but unfortunately, Mr. Rackman had a lot of unpleasant accommodations, and so some of us had to settle there.
So what happened was you arrive in London. Because you arrived at Paddington, you ended up coming to this part of town, whereas people who arrived in Victoria,
Waterloo,
on the whole,
isn't it?
Some came, depends what boat train you came on, yeah? If he came by the Spanish ship, he'd come to Southampton, and if he came by the if he came into Liverpool, he'd come into Paddington.
Right. Right.
When we came into Liverpool on the ship called the Reina del Pacifico, which is part of the Pacific Steam Navigation Company, it's sold now because Britain hasn't got a shipping industry anymore.
No, it's all gone.
Not at all. It's all gone.
Because you know a lot about shipping, but we'll come back to that in a minute.
Yeah.
And so, Tote Bags was the kind of end point of the '58 riots here in Nottingham.
It all started because that building used to get attacked by Mosley and his mob. Mr. Mosley used to keep meetings outside there as well, and it was one of the only places you could have gone to, because when people arrived, we never had no reception party. There was no one there to meet us.
No
so
bunting?
No. No one there to... No, it's part of the history, yeah.
Well, there's also the story about those Caribbean people. I think they're mainly some Jamaican men who, when they came, there was actually nowhere, and they ended up sleeping in the bunker in Stockwell, and that's the site now of where the bronze woman statue is.
That's
but
right.
yeah, I mean, they actually slept in a bunker. That's how bad it was.
What kind of bunker?
Air raid shelter.
Air raid shelter.
And there wasn't even a war on.
But,
Well, it was left over. It was just
left
after
over.
the war.
It's still there, and people are growing cress. There's a cress farm down there.
Is it?
Yeah, under artificial light and that. Yeah. It's an interesting bit of space actually, because it goes all the way from Stockwell all the way up to North Clapham North and then up to Clapham Common. Same tunnel that runs alongside the railway, alongside the tube. So yeah, and I was only aware of the fact that the Caribbean community had to use it as a place to stay when the woman went up. The lovely statue that they put up there in memory of all of that stuff. So, yeah, again, a weirdly closely guarded secret. Yeah.
Secret history of London.
Yeah.
Secret history of London.
And about time we unsolved some of it.
Charlie,
it's urban history as well.
Charlie, there's a great story about why you took up photography.
Oh my gosh, I don't know where to start. But yeah, accidentally, I didn't want to be the photographer.
How did you get your first camera?
Hold on. I didn't want to be. I wanted to be an opera singer, and I wanted to be a naval architect, designing ships. That's what I was into. So I always remember my youth employment officer. In those days, you used to have a youth employment officer to whatever career you wanted. So I was this little coloured boy. That's what was known as. He said, "What would you like to do when you leave school, Charlie?" I said, "I want to be an opera singer." I said, "I want to be an opera singer."
I'm sure you're on the wind.
Hold on. No, serious.
No.
I want to be an opera singer, or I want to be a naval architect. I always remember the guy looking at me, fucking having a laugh at you. So he encouraged me to get a job with London Transport.
Oh, nice idea.
Yeah, he says, I think you'll have a better opportunity with London Transport, or you can join the RAF, or you can work for the post office, because it's job security there, So that's how part of my life. But how I got into photography as well, it was during the era where there was a Cold War. Mm-hmm. And the nearest American base was a place called Bryce Norton or I Wickham.
Yeah.
And
just down the M40.
Right.
A40 in those days.
Yeah. And on weekends, you used to have a lot of Afro-American GIs who used to come down.
African-American, Uncle Charlie.
African-American GIs, yeah. We used to come down because they never felt comfortable in Hammersmith Palace to have fun. And they never felt comfortable at the Lyceum dancing to Joe Loss and his orchestra. So in those days, we used to have our parties, or we used to have things called shebeens, yeah?
Yeah.
So there was a big black market as well, because these guys used to bring records. They used to bring the whiskey, Southern Comfort. They used to bring, I always remember that Pall Mall cigarettes, Chesterfield cigarettes, and they take... Some of them would take refuge with some of the Caribbean community, especially the shebeens. It's so what my dad made friends with one of them. Forgot his name, Denzel or something, out of New York. And this guy got legless one night, and he never had enough money to go back to the base. I think his base was in Bryce Norton. I always remember that. Bryce Norton?
Bryce Norton is the one, yeah. It's just up there,
Just up there, yeah. And he never had enough money to go back, so he pawned he pawned the camera out for 15 shillings. He never came back and picked it up though, yeah. So I guess he got it cheap on the American PX.
Yeah.
But anyway, and this is how I actually started. I thought I'd start taking snaps. Then I started to do a paper round. Then I was in one of the chemist shops one day. I decided to invest some money, so I bought a book. I think it was published by Johnson's or Patterson's, Do-It-Yourself Photography. And that's more or less that's how I started.
So you're a self-taught man.
Self-taught.
So you were in a flat somewhere around here, late at night with the chemicals?
Well, I was in after that, we used to live in Bonchurch Road, then we used to live in 15 Bassett Road. And when the parents used to go to bed at night early, I used to go in the bathroom, improvise a bit. I bought a darkroom lamp and 2 Patterson trays, and I started taking, in those days, snaps of people, you know? And I thought I'd take all
Not
these...
photographs?
Not for snapping people, yeah? So sometimes for threepence, I take a photograph, and you go around to the clubs or when they have parties, and you take a snap of these people, and you get a shilling for it or 6pence or something like that. Yeah, that was years ago. But I thought so one week this guy, another American soldier, left a magazine, and it was called the Saturday Evening Post, and I was glancing through it, and there was this there was a picture that captured my imagination at the time, and years later I found out it was done by an American artist called Norman Rockwell, who was who was illustrating American way of life. So I thought, I think I'll put some of my photographs and show Caribbean way of life in England, in London. This is when the average family used to live in one room and have to share a bathroom or the communal kitchen would be on the landing. That's the era. And a family of 4 would live in one room, yeah? So I thought at first we thought we'd only got to spend 5 years in England. And I thought I'd put it all in
We're only here for 5 years.
That's what we thought. And I thought, when I go back to Jamaica, I can show them what life was like in England, yeah? So
how many years are you here now?
I've overstayed my time. But one of my most interesting photographs was during the snow. It snowed one year in about 1959, 1960. Yeah, it snowed. It was the first time I seen snow as well, So I was like, they won't believe I was in England till I showed them a photograph with me in the snow. But I lost all those photographs now, because moving around.
Well, it's a tragedy. The shots you've lost, I was reading again today, some of the subject matter that covered, because you actually left the UK in the early 60s to go traveling.
I was part of the student revolution. This is when every young man wanted to be a revolutionary, and my era at the time was Che Guevara. But
you still wear the beret to this day.
Yeah, but
that's not a beret on account of that's another man's beret you wear, isn't it? Not.
So
no, it was an era where, as a young man, we used to go on the Ban the Bomb March and the Vietnam March, but there was a big student uprising. So one weekend there was a group of us who decided to go to Paris for solidarity with the French students.
Mm-hmm. And they know how to do it out there.
They know how to do it out there. But what really got me happened, I saw the students getting kicked shit out of him, outside La Gare du Nord in Paris.
Know it well. Gare du Nord, where all the African communities live.
Yeah, but the poor, it was a mixed community. And I saw the students, this white student got kicked, beaten, French police.
The gendarmes are
the
vicious.
CRS, they don't mess around.
They don't mess around, So I panicked and I started to hitchhike. And this is how I ended up in Rome during La Dolce Vita era and one. It all started from there.
For young people who don't know, young people, La Dolce Vita, it was the classic movie of the early 60s.
And it was an era where the Italian film industry became more recognized internationally as well. This way you had the Pasolinas and the Fellinis and whoever, yeah?
And La Dolce Vita, of course, is the movie that spawned the phrase or introduced the phrase to most people, paparazzo.
Paparazzi. And it wasn't, this is how some of these actresses and actors become famous, through the paparazzi. Yeah, years later, we never get any recognition for that anyway.
So
So
we're
were
in
you-
the
were
early
you-
60s,
were
aren't
It
we?
was the late 60s, yeah.
Were you a pioneering paparazzi then?
Well, you know, I've taken photographs of a lot of stars, and you know, but you sell them to the Italian, what do you call it, magazines. Yeah,
Because your work was featured in quite a few well-known magazines as well.
that's right. Yeah, over the years.
And you speak a bit of Italiano.
Sì, sì, ho dimenticato adesso, but
So
you see, you think we British are ignorant, then? That's why we joined the common market, because they think we British we can't speak another language. You go abroad and everybody else speaks English. So I try to pick up Italian. And
Well
Portuguese.
done. Molto bene, fratello.
And
Molto
Swedish
bene.
as well. Calling
Oh yes,
svenska,
because you
yeah.
haven't told us about your time in Sweden yet.
Well, that's
No,
another tour.
we're-
That's another tour. We can't discuss that.
we're going to leave you in Rome for a minute, and we're going to play the song, the first song you've asked to hear, which is from a man we didn't realise lived
Yeah.
around the
Used to live around
corner.
here. Yeah, we used to know him when he was about.
And this song's really significant because remember
It
on
was
the
the-
first
the f-
anniversary of Grenfell,
Yeah.
that was the song that they played, the choir song, and we
never
all
got
sang it.
recognised. He never got recognised as a songwriter till.
Well, he won. Didn't he win an Oscar or
He
a
won a
Grammy
few,
or
but he
something?
never, but he
An
was
Emmy,
one of the,
maybe, not an Oscar.
Yeah,
Did he win an
I
Oscar?
think he won an Oscar
London,
for.
He was one of the prolific songwriters.
We'll Google it while the song's
I'll
on.
do that.
And the other night I saw Alan Yento done a program about him, you know, and he was sort of written out of what is now popular British music.
But he was also was he here in exile as well because he was an
no,
activist?
his father was came here in the 30s.
Anyway, if you haven't guessed, we're talking about Labi Siffre. What we didn't realise, where did he used to live around here?
I think he used to live in Pembridge Garden.
Ah,
And it says he was born in Hammersmith.
He was born in Hammersmith.
Wow, I didn't know that either.
local boy.
Well, I first saw him at the Q Club live. Yeah, I saw.
You know what? The Q Club is exactly what I want to talk about next.
I saw him live at the Q Club many years ago. You know, this is when the soul era started.
Yeah, and
Before my time, I'm far
and
too
then
young.
Later on, about 20 years ago, I saw him. He came into my restaurant as well. You know.
we
Oh,
want to talk about that as well.
Piers wants to know all about that.
Also,
Charlie,
my time. I was
Charlie,
over
who's this one going out to? Can you dedicate this to someone?
To me, obviously.
Get out of it. Who can I dedicate this to? Yeah, I'll dedicate this to Kelly.
Kelly.
Yeah,
Kelly, this one's for you from Charlie. Labi Siffre, Something Inside So Strong.
yeah. Kelly helps me out with my archives, you know.
Well done,
I've got all
Kelly.
these,
Good
yeah.
work.
Not now, Isis. Not now, Isis. Come on.
The higher you build your barriers, the taller I become. The farther you take my rights away, the faster I will run. You can deny me, you can decide to turn your face away. No matter, 'cause there's something inside so strong. I know that I can make it, though you're doing me wrong, so wrong. You thought that my pride was gone. Oh no, there's something inside so strong. Oh, something inside so strong. The more you refuse to hear my voice, the louder I will sing. You hide behind walls of Jericho. Your lies will come tumbling. Deny my place and time. You squander wealth that's mine. My light will shine so brightly it will blind you. 'Cause there inside so strong, so strong. I know that I can make it. Though you're doing me wrong, so wrong. You thought that my pride was gone. Oh no. There's something inside so strong. Oh, something inside so strong. Brothers and sisters, when they insist we're just not good enough. When we know better, just look them in the eyes and say, we're gonna do it anyway. We're gonna do it anyway. There's something inside so strong. And I know that I can make it. Though you're doing me wrong, so wrong. You thought that my pride was gone. Oh no. There's something inside so strong. Oh, something inside so strong. Brothers and sisters, when they insist we're just not good enough. When we know better, just look them in the eyes and say, we're gonna do it anyway. 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 Inside so strong. Something inside so strong. I know that I can make it. But you're doing me wrong. You know that my pride was gone. Oh no. Something inside so strong. Oh, something inside so strong.
Yeah, that is Labby Siffrid. That was going out to Kelly, who is doing the magnificent job of sorting Charlie's archive, which is a national treasure, as you are, Charlie.
And did you know that his actual name is Claudius Afolabi Siffrid?
Right.
There you go.
I thought you were telling me Charlie's name was Claudius. Claudius.
And this boy brings so much flashbacks, you know? It's unbelievable.
And born in Hammersmith.
Yeah, and reminisce of the Q Club. That's where I first saw him, yeah? Then 20 years later, he came to my restaurant, you know?
I wanted to ask you about the Q Club, because that was in Paddington.
Yeah, Parade Street in Paddington.
Yeah, underneath what's now the Hilton,
Yeah.
but used to be the cinema.
Yeah.
What? That was a centre for some of the new R&B and early soul singers.
Everybody used to come there, and everybody used to come. About black and white, and some of the top
Soul
rock
artists.
and roll. They used to come down there to listen to the music, and then used to have a lot of American GIs who had their own soul band and used to play their soul music. Then, when it got better, he used to bring in a lot of big stars: Stevie Wonder, Big Joe Turner, Benny King was a favorite. Yeah, down by the Q Club.
Would that be their main gig in London, or would they play somewhere and then come and do an after party down there?
They would go all over the country, you know. They'd go all over the country because at the time also Manchester was a big place for soul music as well for some. Yeah, Manchester. So they do tours Manchester, but Manchester, London, Manchester, Birmingham, Bristol. Yeah?
Right.
But in small venues though. In
Yeah.
small venues. In small venues. Yeah. And you know, the Reverend everybody needs something.
Oh, Al Green. Al Green.
You, not you. I need you. You. What's it? The big fat guy. What was his name? Yeah. He used to be.
We'll come back to that in a minute. Charlie, what made you start taking pictures down there? Was that part of your photographing, capturing Caribbean life in London?
No, one of the things is I used to bribe my way in, you know, because, you know, in those days, you have to be dapper. And when people come out on a Saturday or a Friday or a Sunday, they're all dapper. And I used to take photographs, and he allows me in to take photographs as well. And must say, he had a big collection of my work, but he threw it away. But that's another that's another story as well.
Yeah.
But what some of those photographs would have been worth now, yeah. But at the same time, we were documenting our history because, what do you say, Afro-American?
African-American.
African-American, when they used to pass through, yeah, like Sammy Davis Jr., Otis Redding, they all ended up down there as well, down the Q Club.
So that would be the after party for whatever, any
not really after party, but just to hang out. And, you know, Muhammad Ali was a regular visitor. Oh, Subtle used to love Muhammad Ali.
But you did the photograph with Muhammad Ali as well.
Not at the Q Club, somewhere else.
No, but here on the streets.
No, in Switzerland.
No, that's the pictures of Muhammad Ali at Ron Laslet's were not taken.
Just right across the road there. Just where we started.
So, Charlie, I mean, Isis has just mentioned you carry on taking pictures. You work. You were a paparazzi in and around the Dolce Vita scene in Italy.
Epoca, sì.
You were you not in La Dolce Vita as an extra?
No. I wasn't in. I was in Fellini Satyricon.
You're in Satyricon, fantastic.
As an extra, and I was in the Untouchables as an extra. I was in Michael Winner's Games because that was shot in Rome as well as an extra.
And did you not, while you were in Italy, did you not fulfill your dream of going on stage at the Scala?
No, well, that comes in later on in life. I tried to get into the Conservatorio di Milano, yeah, but then I ended up with I shouldn't say this, a lot of left-wing radical.
Now, there's nothing wrong with the left-wing radical Uncle Charlie.
No,
We've had this conversation
when
before.
I say this before, who thought as a black guy wasn't to a rapper that's for the Borghese. Yeah. So we ended up, I shouldn't say this, you'll read it in my memoirs. When they used to have the upper season opening at La Scala in Milan, we used to go and throw flour or eggs. And I couldn't fulfill my dreams because they thought my radical friends, here I'm dressed like Che Guevara, you know? I thought it's Borghese.
They thought you were Brigado Rosso.
No, pensato.
Is that what the Villa Borghese is? The bourgeois villa?
The bourgeois villa. No, I don't know the full, but I don't know the full story of the Villa Borghese, but it's a beautiful villa anyway. They have nice gardens. I used to sleep there. In the Villa Borghese
in the
Roma.
summer, obviously, not in the
Roma.
winter.
No, when I first went to Rome, each time I didn't have nowhere to sleep, so I used to go up to the Villa Borghese in my sleeping bag and keep there.
Keep under the...
Yeah, you were a real hippie, really.
Oh, yeah, that's how I saw Europe,
As a beatnik, I think they called it in those days.
That's right.
So, Charlie, if we can spin forward a little bit. You gave up taking pictures at some point, is it in the 70s?
In the late 70s, when I came back to England and I showed my work around, they couldn't believe I took it. And they used to say, "Did you really take that?" And I used to get fobbed off a lot, and I couldn't get an assignment, so I got disappointed. And my last big disappointment, I was I took some photographs at Jimi Hendrix backstage at the Isle of Wight Festival. I'm still making the appeal for them. If anybody finds them, they're mine, yeah? And when I used to take them around, they go, "Did you really take that? Oh, they're nice," you know. And I used to get fobbed off because, you know, you can go to an editor's office in those days, apart from Associated Press, and show your work.
Yeah.
But other places I used to go, they couldn't believe I took it. Yeah, so they thought, so
They
we
thought
left
you were
it
a
at that.
deluded fantasist.
Right. And, you know, and I'm so, 50 years later, I'm so disappointed because I wasn't given a proper platform. In those days, we shouldn't have been taking photographs. How dare you? Yeah? That's the attitude. And
So you got so annoyed. What did you do?
well, I just left everything on the because in those days I
Yeah,
was
but what did you get into instead of doing
staying in the
photography?
squat. I was squatting around. the
Oh, you were
place.
squatting as well.
Squatting around the
So,
place.
but I think what Piers is getting at is how did you get into doing the Smoky Joe barbecue and
Well,
food and whatever else?
No, it was Carnival. When did they have the right?
76.
and 77.
75. It was Carnival 75. Everybody was panicking. And we used to have a very well-known family called the Spencers. They had a surplus of corn on the cobs. So I thought, got an old wheelbarrow, got some charcoal, and started roasting corns during the first Carnival. Yeah. I had another go again at the second Carnival. That's where L went loose, you know. I was in that riot as well, you know. But I was pitching in the top of Lancaster Road at the time, you know. And that's another story as well. So that's how I got into it. Then, apart from that, I started doing a bit of festivals, Smoky Joe's, the Corn Man. And
Were you still just doing corn, or would you
just doing corns.
You hadn't got onto the chicken yet.
No, that's what they used to know me as, the corn man, corn on the cob, the corn man. But I used to have a pitch outside Portobello Road for years on the Saturday. And Wilf used to do orange juice beside me, you know?
Wilf Walker?
Yeah.
Wow, imagine that. Wilf Walker and Charlie Phillips,
Yeah.
orange juice and corn.
Yeah, well, this is it. They tried to put a mural up for both of us because I reckon we're two icons of Notting Hill that hasn't been properly recognized, you know. And,
Quite right.
yeah. And this is how it started. Then I went on now and, you know, I got a backer. We invested in a little cafe called Smoky Joe's.
Now, where was that? Because he said Wandsworth, I said Fulham.
No, Wandsworth High Street, 131.
Okay.
yeah.
You were right, Piers, as usual, when
Stuck
it
it
comes
out
to
for
these
11
things.
years and 8 months, you know, but still.
And what did you serve, Charlie?
We served the bit of. We were ahead of our times now because you wouldn't believe it. 20 years later, now they want to do that side of my store because even we were the only one who had the Egon Roney Award, the New York Award, and same thing again. All the top visitors and the top stars, they used to end up in that place, but I couldn't get finance to advance. It was a small little back street dive. I tell people that, but it was a place to be seen. We were ahead. The incentive, yeah. I was also named Restaurant of the Year. I got prizes to go to Canada to represent England, yeah. But the so-called food critics, yeah, that didn't. You know, I'm well known, more or less known in Japan and in America.
More than here?
Yeah, I do demonstration more than here, yeah, and in Germany. Yeah, in Japan they call me Kumura Joe. In France they call me Joe Fumicato. In Spain, Fumita Joe. Yes, yeah, seriously.
Wow.
And but every time I went to my back manager to expand, he said, "Oh no, Mr. Phillips, it's not the type of you're rather unique. We only gave you 2 years, you know, and you've lasted 11." And sometimes we used to get queues outside, but we just couldn't cope, you know.
Well, I mean, I never had the pleasure. I mean, obviously, you know, meat and stuff, but I've never had the pleasure of eating at your restaurant. But I have eaten at your house, and your food was very delicious.
Thank you. It's not very often.
You did nice vegetarian food for me. So
thank you. No, yeah. So now they're trying to get me back to talk about it because it was a new incentive at the time. You know, we get you in, we get you out, we get you money, and no, it was, and we never advertised. Do you know what type of people used to come to my place? People, visitors. You remember a book called Europe on $10 a Day?
Mm-hmm. I remember that very well.
Somebody wrote about me in that, and every backpacker that comes to London in those days, they used to find me, and news got around. I was well known. That's how I got invited to Canada. That's how I got invited to America. And that's how I got invited to Japan. I've never cooked in Japan, but I've done a complete television program for Japanese television. Still there.
Wow.
So you're so big in Japan.
Can we find that on YouTube? We'll have a look.
Kumura Joe.
Yeah. Talking which,
this was years ago. I don't know. But I've just found some because the Museum of Immigration wants to do a documentary about that black business or something like
There's
that.
a Museum of Immigration?
Yeah, it's opening in Lewisham soon.
Oh, it's opening. It's not opened yet.
I think it's open, yeah.
Soon come. I got to play the coasters at this point.
No, please, Smokey Joe's Cafe. That was my...
Joe's Cafe. Smokey Joe's Cafe. One day while I was eating beans at Smokey Joe's Cafe, just sitting digging all the scenes at Smokey Joe's Cafe, a chick came walking through the door that I had never seen before. At least I never saw her down at Smokey Joe's Cafe. Ooh, and I started shaking when she sat right down next to me. Ooh, her knees were almost touching mine at Smokey Joe's Cafe. Her chill was running down my spine at Smokey Joe's Cafe. Oh, I could smell a sweet perfume. She smiled at me, my heart went boom. Then everybody in the room at Smokey Joe's Cafe, they said, man, be careful. That pig belongs to Smokey Joe. From behind the counter, I saw a man. A shelf hat on his head and a knife in his hand. He grabbed me by my collar and began to shout. You better eat up all your beans and bar and clear right on out. Yes, I know I'll never eat again at Smokey Joe's Cafe, and so we'll never meet again at Smokey Joe's Cafe. I'd rather eat my chili beans at Jim's or Jack's or John's or Jeans than take my chances eating out at Smokey Joe's Cafe. Ooh, I risk my life when that Smokey Joe's a crazy fool. Smokey Joe's Cafe. Oh, Smokey Joe's Cafe. Oh, Smokey Joe's Cafe. Oh, Smokey Joe's Cafe.
Yeah, that's the Coasters, Smokey Joe's Cafe, which we are playing because we are talking to the original Smokey Joe.
Yeah, man, Uncle Charlie, mental.
Who's unfortunately not talking to us, he's talking to Ron, who's
Yeah,
just arrived. Hey, Ron.
Yeah, Ron in the house.
There are live drawing
Local artist, Ron
classes
Best in the
at
house.
the Westway Trust. Ron, what you go on the Westway Trust website and find out. And they are, when do they start, Ron? Next week? 2nd of March. Week after.
Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. There you go. Bit of random.
Yeah.
Nice one, Ron. Thank you,
We
brother.
are here to
Mental.
promote your local exhibitions.
Certainly
We're
are.
talking to Charlie Phillips, the celebrated photographer.
And Uncle Charlie's got something to promote as well into the microphone.
Into the microphone,
Can you
Charlie.
talk on the
Got 4
mic?
pieces at the Tate Britain. It's called Between the Islands.
Between the Islands. My wife also went to that exhibition,
well-
and she thought that was absolutely fantastic.
Again,
Well-
I noticed you didn't get many tickets for that,
Well
Uncle Charlie.
overdue, well overdue, well overdue. Now, what happens? I'm trying to get concessions for
It's
some of the-
okay, I'm
for
teasing
senior-
you.
For seniors,
You know I like to run you.
No, for seniors is because they have to start bringing people from the diverse community
Yeah.
to places like this. A lot of people don't know that. I've done a tour 2 days ago with some kids from North London. And I'm saying, like, as taxpayers, we're not well represented. And I'm saying now, without any apologies, I hope that one is not supposed to tick the box. I think that one should travel to all the Tates. Yeah. Personally, I think it's the wrong time of year, but at least they finally give us a platform, which is well overdue. But I'd hope the Tate will take it further to show our work, that we do exist as artists. Yeah, and we're part of the British culture, British history, whether you like it or not. And they should open up some more.
Well, that's kind of like coming back to where we...
It was well overdue. It was well overdue, Pierre.
Yeah, we were talking
but
about
I hope
earlier,
it's not to tick the box.
We were talking about the Marley exhibition.
The Marley exhibition and the fact that, you know, how much are Jamaican people being celebrated in this country. So you're exactly right.
And it's not well, you know, I can't afford to go there. I'd love to go there.
Well, you see?
Yeah.
So
we've been priced out.
Saatchi, can you please give Uncle Charlie a free ticket?
No. We've been priced out at some of these events. Yeah?
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, to be honest,
somebody should do something about it.
Everyone
culture.
except for the rich, middle, and upper classes have been priced out
Priced
of
out.
everything. And now that quite so many exhibitions are trying to reflect the black experience,
We've been priced out because it's
they've
not
got to let
affordable.
some people in who actually know about the black experience.
And also the musical as well. My colleague told me she paid £190 for a
The
ticket.
musical is supposed to be good, though.
Huh?
Charlie,
Yes.
we haven't got long. We're going to romp through. You were kind of rediscovered in the 80s, early 90s, and the book Nottingham.
Rediscovered late 90s.
Yeah.
Yeah, but there again, it was just to tick the box. Yeah, and I tell some of the, I have to be straight now and be really serious. Don't call me out in Black fucking History Month anymore, yeah?
Well, you're not available in October.
No, I call it Black Working Month. No, seriously.
It's something that even I, as a white middle class man, understand.
Look, on Portobello Radio, we know we're not making a big fuss about Black History Month because we know it's 365 days a year.
Yeah,
exactly.
Well, this is how I feel I'm being used as a political pawn sometimes because, for instance, there was another Roger Main who done photographs of early Notting Hill,
Southam Street and all that.
Yeah, Southam Street, and there's an established museum that calls me up and said, Charlie, can you exhibit alongside Roger Main? I said, why? Oh, we want to see your photographs from a black point of view.
Right.
What
Also,
a load of bollocks, huh? I say, if a black man take a photograph and a white man take a photograph, you can tell who take the photograph.
Well, exactly.
So this is the thing I get caught up. This is the thing I get caught up in all the time, you know? And I'm tired of playing the colour thing, yeah? I said before time, yeah?
I want to ask you something about that, Charlie, because we interviewed you on the morning when the V&A opened, I think, a kind of black...
I remember, thanks for coming, yeah.
A black photographers gallery, and there was a moment, the pictures like the boy on Westbourne Park Station, the Notting Hill couple, like Big Maybell at the Q Club.
Yeah.
Are those pictures still easily viewable at the V&A, or have they been put in the...
They usually put it... This is the thing that pisses me off. Yeah? The Museum of London, the V&A, the Tate, they got all my pictures on the vaults, and they only seem to get it out at Black History Month.
In October.
In October. No, it's true. And
we know it's true. We're just kind of... We're laughing because otherwise we'd cry.
But also, I mean... Uncle Charlie does have an archive, the charliephillipsarchive.org. You can find some of his work on there, which is his own archive that he's had set up for him. So, you know. And you can buy some of the photographs as well. So support him. Buy a print.
Well, yeah.
Have an original Phillips in your house.
Buy them from Charlie rather than from some charlatan.
No, but I meant from his actual
Yeah, we're looking at
website.
that to set up a website for
Charlie, we've got to go in a minute, but you took pictures of Jimi Hendrix. You took pictures of Muhammad Ali.
You really know how to cheer me up now, don't you?
I know, but we are still...
Nobody wanted them at the time. Yeah? I came back to London, showed my Ali pictures, and one gallery had one of them up, and they didn't know I took the photo. When I took my work and said, did you really take that?
Yeah. They didn't believe you.
They didn't believe me. Same thing with the Jimi Hendrix. So I'm making an appeal. If anybody comes across any Jimi Hendrix, taking that Isle of Wight Festival backstage. We're joined by Tiny Tim.
which
Yeah.
is like a month before he died.
That's right. And I took it around and nobody wanted them.
So
What a sad story, huh? Okay.
yeah, and Charlie, you're on Instagram as at Charlie Roots Photo with an
I
F.
don't know, somebody done that for me.
Yeah, and he's also Charlie Phillips, one word, archive.com.
2 L's.
Yeah,
At
and
2
Charlie
L's, and
Roots
you'll find some of his stuff on that website.
And Charlie Roots photo as well, something
Yeah,
like
Charlie
that.
Roots
Can
photo.
you remember what Jimmy was wearing in those pictures? Or
I've
that-
got one on stage. He was wearing you remember the
the Afghan coat?
Kaftan. He
Kaf-
was wearing
oh.
a white kaftan. He was wearing a white
Kaftan.
Kaftan? You used to call it.
Kaftan, yeah.
That was the thing.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Which no doubt he bought in Essaouira, the Windy City, where they to this day celebrate Jimi Hendrix.
Really?
Yeah. Charlie Phillips, thank you so much for braving Storm Eunice to get up here.
Eunice couldn't stop you.
Thanks for having us.
Well,
And keep the culture alive and keep the history alive, yeah?
And we'll keep you updated on the Charlie Phillips project, and particularly around the plaque that's going up on 9 Blenheim Crescent. You'll be back to tell us about that.
I'll tell you
soon.
that, yeah?
and we promise we won't ask you to come on in October.
Right, thank you.
Because you're going to be busy after.
No, I'm not. I'm going to wait. Nice one.
Thank you, Charlie.
Thank you very much.
All right. You may have seen
Most
the
incredible.
pictures we put up of some of Charlie's pictures. There was a big lady who was one of the great singers. This is her. She was at the Q Club in about 1963 or 1964. Big Maybelle.
I've got a feeling somebody's trying to steal my man. I've got a feeling somebody's trying to steal my man. Strange things are happening, things that I just can't understand. Who can it be? I wish I knew. Who could it be that's trying to steal my man from me?
Yes, you're listening to Portobello Radio. We have had an extended interview with Charlie Smokey
We
Joe
have.
Phillips. Thank you so much, Charlie,
Yeah,
for being
man.
with us.
Superb,
And-
absolutely superb.
The weekend carries on. Tomorrow we are back at the Tabernacle
Indeed,
for our
Saturday.
monthly Saturday sessions.
Yeah, man. So get yourselves down there, 2 p.m. till 7 p.m. We're going to be live and direct from the bar area in the Tabernacle, which is going to be mental,
And-
absolutely mental. Kicking off with DJ for Blue.
Someone has just texted in, is there vegan food? Is there
There's
vegetarian
always
food?
veggie food. There's always vegan food. The cuisine up at the Tabernacle is second to none. It's beautiful and goes down really, really well with beers, with coffees,
So
with
you
their
don't-
most amazingly famous lime explosion.
Yeah. So, 2 o'clock, DJ for Blue.
DJ for Blue.
3 o'clock, DJ Mecca. 4 o'clock, Carlos is back
Carlos
for the first
de la Cruz.
time in 3 or 4 months.
Wonderful Latin sounds.
That is the man who used to run Santo, everyone's favourite Mexican man.
Yeah, man.
Darren Bennett is back.
Yeah, man, with a Reggae Got Soul. That's going to be fantastic. It's got reggae and soul.
Yeah, and he has a fabulous guest at 6 o'clock. It's Miss Sarah
Walcott's
Walcott, who may or may
teacher.
not have brought a physics teacher
who
or
knows?
chemistry teacher.
Yeah, maybe
or
there's going to be a stand-in teacher. Who knows? And who knows what genre she's going to play?
just
Anything
brush
from
up on your general
soul,
science
yeah,
before you get there.
soul through disco, through jump up, through house. She's brilliant, absolutely brilliant. Following her is, of course, our most amazing, talking of house, Sam T. Richardson.
This is her who
This is
braved the
house.
stomach bug to do his set. PJ's done a set. You went up there with him.
yeah, man, from Sancho Panza Sound System, wicked,
And
absolutely
I
wicked.
think there's a new Deech.
I think you're right. A D in the
certainly
jungle.
one was promised.
Yeah, man, one was promised. Let's see if that one turns up. It'd be brilliant.
If you love
absolutely
this
fantastic.
show or you want people to know about Charlie Phillips, we are repeated at 12 o'clock midday tomorrow, Saturday, followed straight away by the live set at the Tabernacle.
Yeah, man.
On Sunday morning at 10 a.m, we have Aidan McManus, Flipside. Who's
Lovely. The most fantastic, oh my goodness, the bloke from The Damned.
Rat Scabies? Dave Vanian?
No, Lee
Captain
Shaw.
Sensible.
Somebody Lee Shaw.
Oh, the fourth man. From
Yeah,
The Damned.
yeah. Anyway, he's brilliant, absolutely brilliant. It's going to be a fantastic show. It's going to be fantastic. So that's at midday on Sunday.
And
of
then
course,
we rewind. You can listen to the fun you had at the Tabernacle all over again at 2 p.m. Any other radio stations?
any other shout-outs?
Yeah, and if you want to take a break from Portobello Radio, 4 to 6 on Feferity, me, the Eclectic Goddess, with the Speak Your Truth show, and my special guest is Mare Jar, a Rasta woman who rematriated 27 years ago from Guadeloupe to Benin. She's got an amazing story to tell. They've built an ecological development in a forest just near Ouida. Amazing story.
Wow, tune in for Feferity Radio on your internet. It's gonna
You
be
have
brilliant.
been listening to Portobello Radio show, coming live and direct with Isis Hamlick, with Greg Weir, with myself, Piers Thompson, from the Muse Gallery 269,
Portobello Road. Yeah, man.